Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be going over some of the new fall Bath & Body Works candles and hand soaps. I have been such a busy bee lately. Every weekend, Bath & Body Works has been doing their Try It to Believe It days for fall, and I have definitely been stocking up on all of the new goodies, so I'm going to be sharing with you today some candles that I got for one of the weekends was buy two get two free candles, and then I'm also going to be showing you some hand soaps because they had a weekend where it was $2.95 hand soap. So I've got lots of the new fall scents that I'm going to share with you. We're going to read some scent notes and go over kind of some first impressions. So there's some old favorite classics, of course, but then there's also some new fragrances as well as online exclusives. So stay tuned if you want to see all of the new goodies. And if you are new to my channel, then welcome. My name is Melissa, and I used to be a part-time manager at a Bath & Body Works for about 6 years. And now I'm here on YouTube making cozy fall content and, of course, Bath & Body Works related videos. So if any of that interests you, then make sure you subscribe to my channel down below. And without further ado, let's get sniffing. I got so many hand soaps this time around. I noticed when I was doing my declutter that I actually had a smaller amount of fall hand soaps. I know it's still probably a lot, but for me personally, I know I use a lot of fall hand soap, so I felt the need to do some stocking up, so I definitely took advantage of the sale. So here it says I purchased 17 items. Some of those might include a couple of my free item rewards. I spent $37 and I saved $111. So I had used a paper coupon for 20% off, so I stacked that coupon on top of the already $2.95 discount for each hand soap. So I'm pretty proud of my sales shopping there. So let's take a look at the hand soaps I picked out. Right off the bat, this is the first one I grabbed at that front table of the Halloween hand soaps. I had already done all of my Halloween shopping, except when I smelled through everything I grabbed, this was my favorite of the batch, and so I wanted to grab a second one. This fragrance is called Spellbinding Sweets, and it has fragrance notes of haunted lollipop, sweet bubblegum, and bewitched berries, and this mainly smells like bubblegum to me, which I love the scent of bubblegum, so I grabbed another one of those to add to my collection. This particular packaging had a lot of our old favorites that we know and love and come back every year, such as Sunshine and Lemons. This one is the Afternoon Apple Picking. This one does come back every fall usually, so I did grab one of these because it's one of my classic tried and true apple scents. It's just a really good, straightforward, no-nonsense apple scent. So this has notes of crisp apple, succulent pear, and cinnamon. Yes, so this is definitely what fall smells like to me. 2015 is when I started working in the summer, and so fall was when I really started to come alive and start taking in my job at the time. In 2015, this scent was definitely around, and when I smell it, it takes me right back. I feel like this year is really good for the hand soap scents. There's a lot of unique scents that come in the hand soap and don't come in any other form, so it's really important to make sure you give them a try when you see them like this. So this is one of them, Autumn S'mores. It's funny because when I smell this, s'mores isn't the first thing that comes to mind. It just has so many other layers to it that smell so autumnal and gourmand and tasty, but this has notes of crisp apple, gooey marshmallow, and cinnamon spice, and ooh, it smells so good. Oh, this one drives me crazy. I probably should have gotten 2 of them. Carameled apples dipped with like a white chocolate drizzle. Smells a little bit pretzel-y, a little bit chocolatey, but mainly has that apple scent. That caramel apple scent really is shining through, so tasty. So this fragrance is a tried and true. We do usually see this every single year as well. This is Harvest Gathering, and it does also come in home fragrance like candles and wallflowers. And this has notes of fresh picked apples, autumn berries, and clove buds. I like Harvest Gathering better than Leaves. They're quite similar. In my opinion, Leaves is a little more deep and intense and a little bit heavier on the clove and spice, while this is a little bit more on the fruity side, but they are very similar. I tend to be more of a Harvest Gathering fan over Leaves. I like to use this one during Thanksgiving. This is another one of their brand new scents that they have not had before in the past that is driving me crazy. This is Sugared Maple Lane. I would love this in a body care as well. This is maple drizzle, warm citrus sunshine, and brown sugar. Whenever they add in some of those citrus notes into like maple or caramel, there was a citrus sugar cookie, I think it was. It was a fall soap a couple of years ago, and I loved that scent, and so this is a little bit reminiscent of that, but it's not exactly the same. At least I don't think it is. Yes, I just love that pairing of maple and citrus together. I know we're tired of the faceted collection a little bit, but I think that bottle is pretty, so I'll make an exception. I loved the Sugar Maple Lane so much that I grabbed 2. So excited about this one. I also grabbed 2 of these, and these are the only gel soaps I grabbed, not necessarily on purpose. I tend to like the foaming ones a little bit better if I had to choose between one, but I love both and I love to switch them up, so it doesn't really matter to me. I just grabbed for fragrance mainly. So this is Fall Festival, and it has notes of fresh pumpkin, pumpkin, spiced cinnamon, and sweet maple almond butter. So this one actually was a brand new fragrance in the candle last year, but when I smelt it cold, it was a blind buy that I did online. I wasn't too keen on it. It was okay. I gave it like C plus, B minus. It was like not driving me crazy, but in the hand soap, drives me crazy. This one smells like honey butter, like I smell like a buttery note in there. Very gently spiced, like a little bit of cinnamon, but not too much. It's like cinnamon honey butter. That's what this smells like. Ugh, I just want to drizzle it over biscuits or something. Too many hand soap smelling. Here's another brand new fragrance as of this year. This is Farmhouse Pumpkin and Spice. And I was wondering if this was going to end up smelling a lot like sweet cinnamon pumpkin. It has notes of heirloom pumpkin, patchouli, and fall spices. It turns out it does not smell like sweet cinnamon pumpkin, so it's nice that it's not too repetitive. The patchouli is important in there. It really smells kind of like if you were to grab Marshmallow Fireside and like a chai spice mix and mix them together. That's what this smells like to me, and it smells very nice. I got another twofer. This is the Cherry Almond Shortbread, and this one used to be, a very long time ago, a Christmas scent, and I did actually get it when it was a Christmas scent way back in the day. I loved it then, and I love it now, so that's why I grabbed two. And this is Vanilla Shortbread, Candied Almond, and Cherry. I love almond and cherry together in the same fragrance. That's one of my favorite fragrance pairings. These soaps, they're just driving me crazy. Like, there's just not enough good words to describe them. So these last 4 hand soaps that I'm going to show you are all a part of the same collection, and they're all kind of inspired by drinks of some sort. So that's kind of a fun theme they have going on, starting with this iced caramel drizzle. So this has notes of salted caramel, whipped cream, and a hint of coffee. This one has a very artificial caramel smell, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. I find that I tend to like my caramel scents to be more of like that rich, stovetop, bubbly, buttery, slightly salty caramel. This is more like a store-bought caramel, or like something that you would pump into a coffee, which makes sense because this is supposed to be inspired by like a caramel latte, so it makes sense. Just be wary of that this kind of has that slightly artificial caramel syrup smell as opposed to like homemade caramel. I do sense a little bit of coffee in there, and it's also a very milky scent. I feel like this one's kind of the outlier. This is the least autumnal of the batch, but I'm still glad I got it because we need a little variety. So this is Earl Grey tea and mint, and this is the most crisp and fresh ones of the ones that I grabbed. This is Earl Grey tea, white jasmine, and mint leaves. I feel like this one's going to be popular with Jose because he tends to like the more crisp, clean, herbaceous scents, so I think that will be a nice one to have to split it up from all of those gourmands that I grabbed because I got so many. Almost all of my hand soaps are gourmands, so this is an appreciated break. I think I'll probably save this one for a fall into winter transitional fragrance because it is cranberry orange seltzer, and this has notes of fresh orange, sugared cranberries, and fizzy seltzer water. Yes, very fruity. I definitely get both cranberry and orange, although I think it leans a little bit heavier on the orange notes, but I think this is going to be a good November scent. It's definitely heavy on the fruity side, which is not normally what I would go for November, but that cranberry kind of reins it back in and reminds us that it could be a holiday scent. This is the last hand soap, and this one might be my favorite of this kind of drinks collection packaging that they had, and it's funny because matcha is hit and miss for me. Sometimes I really, really love it, and sometimes I really hate it. The only matcha I've really enjoyed is when Starbucks was doing their matcha lattes with pistachio in them. I really liked that, and it's because it's nice and sweet with just a little hint of the matcha, so I wasn't sure if I was going to like this one. Turns out it smells exactly like that Starbucks drinks taste, so I love it. And it smells like fresh matcha, vanilla syrup, and a splash of milk. I cannot believe how accurate this smells. This literally smells like matcha powder, and I have no idea how they did it. So if you are a matcha fan, this is definitely a must. Okay, we're at the halfway mark, so we need a coffee break. Okay, so that was all of the hand soaps. Now we are moving on to candles. I grabbed 8 of them because they were buy 2 get 2 free, so I got them in my sets of 4. I purchased them online mainly because I wanted to try a lot of the online exclusives, so I'm going to be showing you some of those, as well as a couple timeless favorites, of course. And starting off with one of the timeless favorites, we have Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin. I usually have one of these in my collection at all times during the autumn, and this has notes of warm cinnamon, fresh ground clove, vanilla cream, and brown sugar. So this one is an easy one to get confused on. So the body care smells completely different, at least in my opinion, to the home fragrance. I find that the home fragrance of Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin tends to be more rich, harvesty, a little more on the gourmand side. I really get a strong sense of pumpkin, while in the body care it almost has like a fruity brightness to it. Like it still smells like pumpkin and spices, but it has a fruity blend that kind of brings this interesting brightness to it that the candles do not have. So if you're familiar with one and not the other, just be wary that they are quite different from each other. That being said, they're both amazing. I associate October with this scent because I usually light it near or on Halloween if I don't already have a packaging of a candle that's Halloween already. So to me, this smells like carving pumpkins. Coming from that same collection, we have pumpkin apple, and this one comes back every year as well. Tried and true. This has notes of red delicious apple, fall pumpkin, fresh ground cinnamon, and clove buds. So sweet cinnamon pumpkin goes to October as pumpkin apple goes to November for me. This is often a Thanksgiving scent. And then here's the last one from that particular collection. This is freshly brewed coffee, perfect for all of the coffee lovers out there. This one doesn't really have notes. It has a little saying, kind of like how they used to have on the older candles. They do like a little sensory paragraph that describes the mood of the candle. Enjoy the room-filling aroma of fresh coffee beans as you pour yourself a cup of ambition. Sometimes those crack me up and I don't know why. Maybe just because they're like slightly on the corny side, but we're here for it. I like corny, it's good. And the smell is definitely familiar. This might be the same as Paris Cafe, but I know there was another one even further back than Paris Cafe, but they have definitely used this coffee scent before, and I'm glad because it was actually one of my more favorite blends of the coffee scents. Sometimes I find at Bath & Body Works, coffee scents are hit and miss with me, which is funny because I love the scent of coffee normally. This one has ever so slightly a hint of like a vanilla cream going on. It's a little bit sweeter than some of their coffee scents that they've had before, but I definitely love the freshly brewed coffee scent. This one's called Cranberry Woods, and I really love this fragrance because of the way it makes me feel when I smell it. It brings me back a sense of nostalgia. What the smell of Cranberry Woods reminds me of is when I was a kid, we would always have all of our Christmas decorations stored in these big plastic Tupperware bins. And in these bins, besides our decorations, we also had like these little scent sticks that we would put into the tree, and so everything would just kind of smell of these scent sticks. And the scent on it was exactly like Cranberry Woods. So to me, when I smell this, it makes me think of Tupperwares, of Christmas decorations, and watching Elmo Saves Christmas. So this has notes of tart cranberry, cinnamon bark, forest cedar, and golden amber. So this to me is almost more of a Christmas tree kind of smell, but Christmas tree meets cranberry. So I usually save this one for winter. Next up, we have white pumpkin. This one usually comes back every single year, and this has notes of gingered white pumpkin, caramel glaze, and warm blended spices. This reminds me of a warm chai tea. This one almost has a cidery scent to it. To me, the best way I can describe it is like apple cider meets chai meets nutmeg. That's kind of what I'm getting from this candle. And this one, it almost has like a feminine, pretty kind of scent to it. Of all the pumpkins, it's like the least gourmand and more of like a perfume scent, if that makes sense. I've had many favorites over the year, and you know, my first place choice always goes to someone different each year. And I think this is the one that gets first place for me this year. This is Pumpkin Peanut Brittle. I just cannot get enough of this candle. I cannot wait to burn it. It smells so gourmand, so salty sweet. I think it's the salty sweet that gets me every time. That's like my favorite combo. It's just so good. So we've got crunchy caramel brittle, salty peanuts, and toasted pumpkin seeds. We've had so many gourmands and so many pumpkins, so it's time we show you some apples. We've got apple weather. This is not the first time we've seen apple weather. We've had it maybe 2 or 3 years in a row. Maybe it missed a year or so. I don't really remember what its history is, but it's been around before. It's not brand new. It has fresh farm stand apples, lavender leaves, and cinnamon bark. I think I like apple weather even better than the Honeycrisp apple, just because the Honeycrisp apple has a little bit of that apple blossom in there, which kind of takes it down a floral route. I think that it's just that I prefer the lavender leaves as an herbaceous note as opposed to apple blossom for the floral note. So I think that I just like the route that this one takes better. And then the cinnamon bark kind of helps ground it. So I think I'm team apple weather as opposed to Honeycrisp apple, but both are good. This one has very similar packaging, but last but definitely not least, we have the Perfect Autumn. So this one has fragrance notes of fresh cranberry, spiced pumpkin, crisp apple, and rich clove. This is literally everything you love about fall wrapped up in one candle. Most definitely the note that prevails in the Perfect Autumn is cranberry. That's the one that I smell the strongest, so I think it's definitely a cranberry forward scent. I do get hints of apple, I do get clove. Pumpkin, not in the way that you would think. I think it helps add to the blend and bring it a little bit more of that depth, but to me, it doesn't smell like a pumpkin candle. So if you're not team pumpkin, but you want to try this one, I wouldn't be too scared of the pumpkin note in there, but Such a good blend of everything I love. Whew, we're all done. That was everything. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. As our discussion question for today, you'll have to let me know down in the comments below which candle are you burning right now and which hand soap is at your sink. I love to see what everybody is using, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. Thanks for watching. Bye.